Okay. Our clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Pringle?
Present.
Mr. Mackey?
Present.
Mr. Barfoot?
Present.
Mr. Burley sends his regrets. Mr. McQueen?
Present.
Warden Halliday?
Present.
Ms. Patterson? Present. Mr. Hicks? Here. Ms. Klumpus? Here. Mr. Greenfield?
Present.
Mr. Body? Ms. Wright? Here. Ms. Fosbrook?
Here.
Mr. Woodbury?
Here.
Mr. McKean?
Present.
Ms. Ardell indicated she'd be late. Mr. Eccles?
Counted for.
Mr. Bell?
Present.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that. So item 4 is if anybody has a declaration of pecuniary interest, they can declare it now or later on. So item 5 is the adoption of our minutes. And the minutes, 5A is that the minutes of County Council meeting and Committee of the Whole meeting dated June the 14th, 2018, and the resolutions contained therein be adopted as presented. For Councilor Hicks, seconded by Councilor McQueen. Any discussion? No discussion. The motion is carried then. Vote. How about vote?
Are we in favor?
I was away a week, so I'm on pardon me. Okay, so, thank you. Motion is carried. The long-term care, B, the long-term care committee of management meeting, minutes dated June the 12th, 2018, and the resolutions contained therein be adopted as presented. It's on the floor. Councilor Wright, seconder, Councilor Klumpus. Any discussions? Seeing none. Yes, Councilor Prosper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Warden. I don't have any questions. I just want to reiterate how, with all the contention around the issue of long-term care and the portion of the portfolio that that represents for Grey County, I maintain that we should be trying to be as transparent as possible. And I don't know that staff, in my opinion, requires any further authorization or empowerment to simply host these meetings in these chambers and video record the proceedings for everybody's benefit. Thank you.
Any other discussions? Question. Councilor Eccles?
Thank you, Mr. Warden. There was a motion on the sprinkler system and fire safety for one of our homes. We went to tender, and I see that because of the concern with the building, was it a requirement or something, just for my information, requirement that this had to be done or shall be done? But I see it was put off until 2/19.
I think Lynn can answer that. Yeah.
A few years ago, we received some funding for partial fire sprinkling, and at that time we spent that money and sprinklered the second and third floor of Rockwood Terrace, and that's where the residents' bedrooms are. At that time, our understanding was that regulation required us to sprinkler the whole building by 2019. We put it in our 5-year capital, and it came up this year. It was brought to our attention that that is not necessarily the case now for long-term care homes that need to be redeveloped. We have until 2025 to do that, which aligns with the date for redevelopment.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussions? No further discussion. Pass the motion to be voted on. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Item C is the long-term care committee of management closed meeting minutes dated June 12th, 2018 be adopted as provided to County Council. Put on the floor. Barfoot, seconder. Councilor Bell. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, we'll move on to item 6 was request for closed meetings, so we'll move on that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bylaws. Can we take them all at once? Okay. So I'm going to read them, and then I'll ask someone to put them on the floor and second that motion. A bylaw to establish tax decrease limits for the commercial property class. A bylaw to adopt a procedure with respect to a conference and seminar procedure for Grey County Council. A bylaw to authorize the warden and clerk to execute an encroachment agreement between the corporation of the county of Grey and Wadasky for the purpose of permitting the installation of utility transmission line poles on the CP rail trail lands, and 5024-18, a bylaw to authorize the warden and clerk to execute a transfer payment agreement between the corporation of the county of Grey and the Ministry of Finance and the Portable Housing Benefit Special Priority Policy Program. Put that on the floor. Councillor Greenfield, seconder. Councillor Pringle. Any discussions on those bylaws? No discussions on the bylaws? So call the motion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay. Today, as point 8 is good news and celebration. So go around the table if anybody would like to bring forward anything.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I'm constantly impressed with our community, how they dig into their pocket for things. I just noticed this morning. On Sunday, $50,000 were donated for the Ride, Don't Hide program. On Wednesday, at the hospital, Radio for Oncology was over $40,000. And Algan Warlow, a citizen of Owen Sound, donated $100,000 yesterday to the Y. So that's $190,000 donated in 4 days in Grey and Bruce community. I think that's pretty amazing. So just wanted to bring note to that.
Anybody else would like to comment? Councilor Pringle, are you?
No, okay, thank you, Mr. Warden. And I do realize that, just further to that, that Mr. Warlow had donated big time with the original build of the Y facility, so it's an addition to what he had already done, yes.
Okay, Councilor Bartlett, did you have some good news?
Yeah, well, thanks, Mr. Warden. I'm sure, like other communities, for Canada Day, just if those that are early risers, if they want to come to Big Bay, certainly our celebration, and hopefully the weather cooperates this year. You get to look out on the beautiful scenery of the bay. 9 o'clock then on Sunday morning for Canada Day celebrations. If anyone's available, they're certainly welcome to come.
Thanks for bringing that forward.
Similar to Mr. Councillor Barfoot, I mean, we're having a number of July 1st celebrations and certainly fireworks at the Osprey Community Centre on Saturday night, and then also as Mr. Eccles and I will be attending the Priceville fireworks on July 1st, along with, it's right in your part of Mr. Warden, is the Gold Rush in Eugenia, looking for that nugget. So, you know, if you're going to come out and pan some gold, that'll be the place to do it. So lots of things going on for sure. Thank you.
Any other good news that, yes, Councillor McKean.
Kind of along that vein, in Blue Mountains, we always get at it fairly early. Our celebration is on Saturday, the 30th, the day before, and there's a parade down from Clarksburg into Thornbury, and then we're having a parking lot party at the community center from 4:30 to 9:30 with fireworks at the end. So everybody's welcome to attend that, and you know, carry it right on over into July the 1st if one so wishes.
Thanks for that.
Energy.
Just a note on the gold rush. In 1853, there was a group of prospectors that thought they found gold at Eugenia Falls, and it took them a few days to get the samples down to Toronto, and they found out it was fool's gold. But in the meantime, 200 prospectors had gathered around the falls, chipping away, looking at the pyrite. So anyhow, as we decided in Eugenia many years ago to celebrate this occasion, so we do it this weekend. It's both for children and adults, so Dave Russell is playing in the evening. Thank you.
Mr. Ward, maybe we should try an economic development plan again and say there's real gold again, eh?
That's possible. Oh, yes, Barb.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Last night, we had a very exciting event, the grand reveal of our new library that is coming to the former Foodland location in downtown Meaford. And it was really an exciting presentation to see how the community input and engagement session that had happened in January this year translated into a remarkable transformation of this space, complete with gardens and lots of that integration into the environment. Is going to be a marvelous building, and we're all very excited about it. So to start off our Canada Day weekend, that was a great way to start it with good news. And we have many Canada Day celebrations coming on in our municipality as well. Beginning June 30th, actually, they get a jump on things in Annan at the Annan Ball Diamond. So hopefully everyone has a very happy and safe Canada Day weekend, and we all celebrate this great country that we're living in.
Thanks for that, Barbara. It's a great step forward, putting your library downtown. I think that was a very courageous and good move. So anyhow, any other? Councillor Bell. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr.
In
Warden.
the sunspots there.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, that's fine. This necessarily isn't happening this weekend, but the weekend afterwards, Holstein Ag Expo is a new undertaking by some people in Southgate, and I just thought it'd be remiss if we didn't mention that. It is going to be a very big production revolving around sheep shearing and machinery, old machinery show, and former warden Mr. Lewis, his family, and others in that part of the world are putting this on. It promises to be a good event, both Friday and Saturdays. I think whatever date that is, 6th and the 7th, or 7th and 8th, whatever that is, the Friday night and Saturday.
Right.
Invite everybody. It's going to be a real good program. Sheep shearing with shearers from all over the world, and promises to be a good time if I know the people in that part of the country.
Thanks, John. Yes, Mr. Woodbury.
And to get ready for that, there's a car show in Holstein this weekend on Sunday with our fireworks there. So people can go to that to see where they're going to go the next weekend.
All right, we should all be busy this weekend. So thank you very much for that. All right, so let's call for adjournment to Councillor Barfoot. Thank you. And Councillor Pringle. Okay, we'll break for 30 seconds and